In 1990, Honda built a supercar with air conditioning that worked. That was the weapon. Gordon Murray was designing the McLaren F1 at the time. He drove Honda's car once. Every benchmark he had, Ferrari, Porsche, Lamborghini, vanished from his head. So today, I'm breaking down the 7 levels of Honda, from the badge anyone can buy to the car 5 people were allowed to own. And yes, one of you is going to say Honda peaked in the 90s, and one of you is going to say the Type R isn't worth the markup. Both of those comments are the point. Watch what happens at level 6. Level 1, the Civic Si. Just over $31,000, 200 horsepower, a 6-speed manual, and 7.2 seconds to 60. Honda's hybrid Civic, the one with the batteries and the 50 mile per gallon sticker, does it in 6.6. Your economy car is faster than your sports sedan. You are not buying speed at level 1. You are buying pedals. And Honda knows exactly what you think you're buying. You get the manual, the limited slip differential, the red badge energy, the sport pedals. You do not get the engine, and you do not get the recipe. Not the hand-ported head, not the stripped interior, not the air conditioning taken out on purpose. Level 1 isn't the entry to Honda's performance ladder. It's Honda selling the gearbox to the people who wanted the Type R. The graduate who wanted a manual before manuals disappear. The engineer trading down from an SUV. The person 8 months into the forums who can now tell you what a helical diff does. You'll take the test drive, and you'll rev it hard in second on the on-ramp while pretending to check your mirrors. Everybody does that. And the car is genuinely excellent, which is exactly what makes the trap work. Level 2, the Civic Type R, $46,895, and good luck paying that. 315 horsepower, and a serial numbered plate on your dash, because Honda wants you to know your car has a number. In April 2023, it took the front-wheel drive lap record at the Nürburgring, 7 minutes, 44.881. The car that set that lap is not the car you can buy. It was the S-grade, sold in Europe only, and Honda built it by taking things out. No air conditioning, no navigation, no parking sensors. The fastest Civic ever built got fast by losing weight, not by finding power. Hold on to that, and you will still pay over sticker. Used ones with low miles are advertised at or above what they cost new. You will sit in a small office and negotiate against a number a stranger invented that morning, and you will do it because you want the car, which is the entire business model. Volkswagen took that record back in 2026 by 0.4 of a second with a Golf. Honda held it for 3 years. Level 3, the S2000. 1999, Honda's 50th birthday present to itself. 2 liters, 4 cylinders, no turbo, 9,000 revs. 240 horsepower from a naturally aspirated 2-liter, 120 horsepower per liter, the highest specific output of any mass production engine on Earth without forced induction. Honda held that record for 11 years. The car that finally took it off them, in 2010, was a Ferrari 458 Italia. Sit with that. A Honda Roadster you could finance beat every engine Ferrari, Porsche, and Lamborghini built, on the number engineers actually argue about, and held it for over a decade. You do not drive this car below 6,000 revolutions per minute. Below 6, it feels like a rental. Above 6, the cam profile changes, the noise arrives, and you understand why people keep these in a garage they can't afford for 20 years. And if you want the sharp one, you want the Club Racer. 699 built, 2008 and 2009, America only, stiffer and lighter, and the stereo and the air conditioning were options. You had to ask for them. Level 4, the Integra Type R, $24,450, brand new in 2001. A car you could have bought instead of a loaded Accord. 195 horsepower from 1.8 liters, revving to 8,400. You will hear it called the best front-wheel drive car ever built, and the people saying that are not being sentimental. The cylinder head was ported by hand, not machine finished, hand ported, by a person, at Honda's Suzuka plant on an economy coupe. Honda also pulled the sound deadening out and deleted the cruise control. You paid more, you got less car, and that was the pitch. In July 2025, a 2001 Integra Type R with 4,800 miles sold on Bring a Trailer for $204,204. 3 years earlier, The record for one of these was $112,000. It doubled while you were deciding whether to buy one. If you own one, you are not driving it. You are watching the auction results the way other people watch a stock they already hold. Level 5. The Type Rs. Honda would not sell you. August 1997. The Civic Type R EK9. Japan only. And you were not invited. Seam-welded body shell. A 1.6-liter engine with a hand-ported head, 185 horsepower, a curb weight of 1,040 kilograms, and a price just under 2 million yen. Then the Mugen RR. 300 cars, 2007, one color, Milano red, no choice. Carbon bumpers, aluminum hood, 237 horsepower, one listed in the UK for the equivalent of $127,000. You could not buy any of it. The Civic Type R existed for 20 years before a single one reached an American dealership in 2017. Every EK9 on a US road arrived one at a time as a private import, 25 years after it was built, because a law finally allowed it. That's level 5. You don't buy in. You wait for the paperwork to age. And by now, you should be asking why a Civic hatchback gets seam-welded by hand at all. Stop and look at what you have climbed. You have been reading this as a ladder that adds more power, more grip, more badge. That is not what Honda built. In November 1992, Honda released the first car ever to wear a Type R badge, and it was not a Civic. It was the NSX. To build it, Honda took 120 kilograms out of a supercar that was already light, and every item on that list is something you would have paid extra to have. The sound deadening, the stereo, the spare tire, the traction control, the air conditioning. They took things out. The power seats came out, replaced with carbon Kevlar shells. They took things out until the car weighed 1,230 kilograms. Then they charged you more for it. The Integra Type R got the badge second. The Civic, every Civic Type R on this list, got it third in 1997. So the Civic Type R in your driveway is a hand-me-down from a supercar. The hand-ported head, the missing sound deadening, the seam welds, all of it a photocopy of what Honda did to the NSX first. Nobody has ever put that on a billboard. Honda has been shipping it for 34 years anyway, which is why the last two rungs of this ladder aren't the fastest Hondas. They're the emptiest ones. If you want the rest of these systems taken apart like this, follow the channel. This is the work. Level 6, the NSX. In America, it wore an Acura badge, which is the only reason half of you don't think of it as a Honda. You are looking at the first production car in the world with an all-aluminum monocoque. Titanium connecting rods in a road car in 1990. $60,000 at launch, against a Ferrari 348 that cost far more and worked far less. Ayrton Senna drove the prototype at Suzuka and told Honda's engineers the chassis felt fragile. Honda stiffened it by 50%. That's the whole company in one sentence. A driver said a thing, and the engineers went and did it. And Gordon Murray, midway through designing the McLaren F1, drove one at Honda's Tochigi test course with Ron Dennis beside him. He bought one. He drove it daily for 7 years. Then he flew to Japan, twice, and asked Honda to build the McLaren F1's engine. Honda said no. The McLaren F1 got a BMW engine instead. Level 7. The NSX Type R. You will never own one, and that isn't an insult. Almost nobody will. November 1992. 483 cars, Japan only. Every engine blueprinted and balanced by hand, to the tolerances Honda used on its race motors. In August 2023, one sold at auction for $632,000. Honda built it again in 2002, 140 cars that time. Then, in February 2005, it built 5. 5, not 500. 5. You read that correctly. The NSX-R GT, a homologation special, built so Honda could keep racing in Japan, wearing a 50 million yen sticker, $470,000 in 2005, when a Ferrari 360 cost $153,000. 4 of the 5 never left Honda. One person bought one, a Japanese cosmetics executive who already owned 6 NSXs. He kept it 18 years and put under 1,000 kilometers on it. It sits in a Tokyo showroom now. Championship white wheels. The odometer still reading 3 figures. Staff walk past it to reach the cars they can actually sell. The other 4 never went to a customer at all. And the scoop on the roof, that carbon intake rising over the rear window, the most dramatic thing on the car, it isn't connected to the engine. It's a dummy. It's there so the race car was allowed one. Every other manufacturer climbs by adding. Honda climbs by removing. The badge never meant more car. It meant less, on purpose, at a higher price. And if you understood that, you were the only customer Honda was ever speaking to. So here's the move. Stop at level 2. The Civic Type R is the whole thesis at a price you can actually pay. Above it, you stop buying the car and start bidding on what was taken out of it. Level 2 or Level 3, the Type R you can buy new, or the S2000 you'd have to hunt. Buy the Type R now, hunt the S2000 later. Tell me why I'm wrong. You already run the system. You have a drawer of things you kept and a box of things you threw out, and you know which one you defend. In 1990, Honda's weapon against Ferrari was air conditioning that worked. 2 years later, it built the same car, pulled the air conditioning out, raised the price, and 483 people said yes. 31 years after that, the fastest Civic ever built set its lap record with the vents stripped out. Honda never changed the idea. It just kept finding more to take away. Subscribe. I break down how these systems actually work underneath the badge.